what's going on, everybody? This is John Jake Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Bluffton Tech Finding Muskrats Dynasty here on EA College Football 25. Now, we're here in our first season, and we're at 1-1, which is kind of where I expected this to be, but not really. Was hoping that, after we won that game against Louisiana, we'd played a lot better against Northern Illinois, but that did not happen. But maybe this is the moment where we could focus in on our next opponents. The Toledo Rockets. We'll be playing them on the road, and even though these guys are in the Big Ten right now, we're stuck in the MAC. That being said, though, Toledo is one of those teams where, this is our big rival. So I want to come in here. I want to beat our rivals here in the Glass Bowl, because we have not been able to beat our rivals yet in this series. And I'm hoping that we could change that courtesy of our superstar wide receiver, Chris Gentry. Now, Chris Gentry is someone that, hey, he may only be listed as a 78 overall, but you guys already know he is a certified bad old man. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into this one without further ado. Let's see if we can pull off the upset on the road against the Toledo Rockets here in this episode, and hoping you guys enjoy this rivalry game action as we get ready to embark on the Battle of I-75. With that being said, guys, if you are as ready as I am, man, make sure you do a couple of things for me. Hit that like button, and then also hit that subscribe button as well if you happen to be brand new to the channel. And without any doubts, let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Welcome to the Glass Bowl in Toledo, Ohio, home to the Toledo Rockets. A full house is in store, and so too a terrific matchup in this one. This matchup today, part of the lifeblood of the sport. A rivalry game where the results will be remembered for a lifetime. As we'll see a squad from the back, a crew looking to make a statement. Taking on a squad hoping to prevent another L this week, the Toledo Rockets. For EA Sports College Football,
Alright, boys, so we got this rivalry week going on here, man. So let's see if our boys can come out here and set a tone. We start with a little bit of a play action here as we throw it out to CJ Peaks, wanting to try to get him out into open space, but DJ Armstrong didn't throw the best ball, so it's going to result in an incompletion. So here we are, barbecue on the titties here. We got a 3rd and 8 coming up. And so what can you do on a 3rd and 8? And I noticed right then and there that I saw that they're pressing. And when I see my guys pressing, you already know I got to try to launch that thing deep, and sure enough, Chris Gentry gets behind the defense, baby. Let's go. A 50-yard bomb down the sideline, and it's going to set ourselves up with a goal line opportunity, man. So let's see what we can do here on this 1st and goal. Armstrong's going to drop back again. We want to throw over the middle to Chris Gentry a 2nd time. And Chris Gentry nearly finds the end zone for the touchdown. They are going to mark him down a couple of yards shy. But I love this next play that we call here. We're going to put the defense in a blender. And there's just really no good answer there when you have that kind of play call. Either we're going to have the tight end score, or either Will Peoples was going to score here, man. And sure enough, we will find the end zone. Touchdown, Bluffton Tech. And the Fighting Muskrats are going to take a 7-0 lead. So we do have the lead here in the Glass House. Let's see if we can keep it going here, as we did force Toledo to go free now. So that's why you haven't seen a possession yet for the Toledo Rockets until just recently. But with that being said, though, 1st and 10 coming right up, as we'll go ahead and see our boys go to work here as they try to set up a little play action. Looking around, and sure enough, nowhere to go, as Couch Smith, the sophomore defensive end, is going to be able to get home and lay that lumber, as James Couch Smith is going to be able to get his very 1st sack of the game. See if we can get another one here as he's lined up at that same side by the tight end, as well as 3rd and 15, and sure enough, we get another one. It's Malik Moon that's able to get home and sure enough, we are going to put Toledo in a blender, and we're actually going to force these guys to go free and out. Well, not free and out, but we do get another stop on defense. And that's really been the story of our defense, playing a lot better than what we saw in both the Louisiana and what we also saw in the Northern Illinois matchup that resulted in our first loss of the season. Let's see if we can start creating a little bit of distance between ourselves and Toledo here as we find ourselves up still 7-0. As Armstrong actually is going to get out of the pocket here. He is going to escape. And because we were able to escape the pocket successfully, Armstrong was able to pick up the first down with his legs. So let's see what he can do with another 1st and 10 as Armstrong surveying the defense, going to throw it with Chris Gentry. Threw it without necessarily leading him because we wanted to make sure that he was not going to get hurt. So that ended up turning out well as it sets up this throw to the right-hand side to Javon Moore, who's able to cook this corner into the end zone. Another touchdown for Bluffton Tech. And I'm actually a little bit surprised in a pleasant way, of course, with how well we've been able to play in this ball game. We're up 14-0. We got another free and out on the Toledo Rockets, and Chris Gentry is going to have another big return as well. That's going to get across midfield, and that's going to be the last play of the first quarter that we have. A dominating first quarter here as we're up 14-0. But you know what? There's still plenty of football that still needs to be played. So let's see if our boys can continue to play well here in the second quarter of action as we're going to send Armstrong off onto the perimeter. He'll pick up a gain of 9 on the read option. Could set up here for a potentially deep shot down the field if it's meant to be. So let's see if we can hook up here as we have to throw up short because we made the adjustment. Seeing that Scott McQuarrie is going to take it down the sideline. Wow, I thought that man was going to be able to take it into the end zone for a split second. But I mean, still going to be inside the 5-yard line. So we're certainly going to take that and we're going to accept that for sure. However, the Toledo defense is starting to tighten up a little bit. Very minimal progress here in the last couple of plays. And now it's 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. But Milan is going to find the end zone. Touchdown, Bluffton Tech. And the Fighting Muskrats are going to be able to get another score up on that scoreboard, man. I am surprised by how incredibly well we have been playing here, man, as Tanner Milan, the senior wide receiver, more of a rotational piece, he finds the end zone for us. And Toledo getting put into the blender right now. But speaking of people being put in the blender, Malik Moon to start the next drive, he gets put into a blender. Connor Lazarick, the running back for Toledo, doesn't really pass the superstar name test. Well, we made the superstar move to that nasty spin move of his, and now we're taking a look at what we can do and try and see if we can continue to build this shutout. It's been a great day for the defense so far. And I'm looking to continue that great day defensively as it looks like their quarterback's going to go into the read option. Keeps it himself, and he's nearly going to go ahead and pick up the first down as Osborne feels like his guys are finally finding a rhythm for the very first time today. And so going hurry up here real fast just to try to keep our defense off balance. And sure enough, it is definitely working for sure, as what I've noticed that like after I try to pick a play, like it goes right into like a no huddle like type of animation, hoping that it's something that could be fixed up because that could be a little bit of an issue, right, with like EA. But you know, EA be EA sometimes, you know, it be like that. But anyways, going back to where we're at right now, we got Toledo eventually to a 3rd and long. So let's see if we can get him off the field here for this 3rd and 9. As Osborne has plenty of time, but it's going to run out of that time quickly as multiple Bluffton Tech defenders is going to be able to come in and make a play on the quarterback as both of those guys combined, led by Ellis Berry, He's going to force Toledo to punt this football again. So up 21-0 already. We're playing extremely well, as we're going to see if we can continue to play well, as we'll throw over middle to Scott McClauer. Wish we would have been able to let him a little bit more, but still a first down, so we'll definitely take that. And we'll take this throw to the left-hand side as well, where we are able to connect with Chris Gentry. As we're starting to get to the end of the second quarter. Only a few minutes left here in this second quarter, as DJ Armstrong loves what he sees downfield. Finds Nazia down the field. It's inside the 10. And look at this, guys. There is going to be a roughing the passer that's going to be brought into place. Martez Pointer is going to make sure that the penalty ends up being declined. So now it's another goal line situation and another opportunity that we can find the end zone there. However, we did make a good read on the RPO, so we end up losing a few yards. And it's 3rd and goal from the 5, where Armstrong is going to scramble to his left and fights his way into the end zone. It's another touchdown for Bluffton Tech. DJ Armstrong did not like what he saw in the defense, so he just went ahead and used that mobility in order to find the end zone. So it's another touchdown for the Fighting Muskrats. And it's a dominant affair here, up 28-0. We also forced Toledo to go 3 and out as well, so we could possibly put up 30+ before we go into the halftime locker room. This really depends on what we can do here on this, possibly the final drive of the first half, as we're going to go and set up a go route possibly. Love the look that we're being provided. However, it's guarded well, and we just had to go ahead and take the sack. Don't love that we had to take the sack there. DJ Armstrong does look like he got shaken up a little bit, but is going to remain in the game. So now it's going to be 2nd and 18, where we try to throw to the right-hand side, and then CJ Peaks able to hang on and make the catch and do a little bit of a tightrope effort as well. He's able to move the sticks for the first down. But a few plays later, though, we do face a 3rd and 5. As Armstrong makes some adjustments at the line of scrimmage. We might have something here with Nas Lilia, but ended up going to the other side here really quickly. I thought Javon Moore was going to have a distinct matchup advantage. Not really. We end up falling short of the first down marker. But you know what? As my friend Uncle Sam's once said, scared money doesn't make any money. So we're going to go for it here, and it works insanely well. We're able to possibly get out of bounds with Will Peoples, who does more than enough to move the sticks. And so a beautiful chance to possibly find the end zone one more time before we go into the halftime locker room. Well, we will face 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line, just trying to be smart here as Armstrong drops back, wants to throw over to the left hand side. It's caught! Touchdown! But wait a minute, it's a hold. Oh no! Adam Kramer is going to be responsible for taking that touchdown off the board. Just diabolical work there. And so it's going to be 3rd and goal instead from the 19-yard line. And the very next pass is going to be picked off. We had a chance to come away with more points on the board. And because of the penalties, it ends up being a 7-point swing. Should have been 35-0. But Raider Dumani is going to make sure that we don't come away with any points. And so, with less than 30 seconds left here in the first half, Toledo is going to have one more shot at this to try and get this goose egg off of the scoreboard before we go into halftime, where 3rd and 5 is coming up for the Rockets. They're going to drop back to pass. Plenty of time in the pockets, going to throw it away. 4th and 5. And seeing as they probably don't have much to lose at this point, they are going to go for it here on 4th down. We almost got drawn off sides, but Osborne's going to send this one deep downfield and tries to throw it up, but it's going to be intercepted in the end zone as the Bluffton Tech defense is able to hold it down. That's going to be Hunter Haynes. That's one of the backups in the Bluffton Tech secondary that is able to basically play some good defense there in the final moments. That's going to wrap up the first half of action, and man, have we been cooking. 28-0 is your score at the end of the first half as we are taking it to our rivals for the very first time. So we played arguably one of the best halves of football in this entire series so far, but can we keep it up though, as we'll start with the ball to begin the second half as Armstrong makes a bunch of adjustments at the line of scrimmage as he wants to go deep downfield. He's got a guy open, and it's Javon Moore. Javon Moore is going to get it rolling here with a big-time throw, as that will get Bluffton Tech deep into Toledo territory, as now we are well within the field goal range of Tommy White. But I think we are thinking about a little bit more than just a field goal. I want to get another touchdown on the board. See if we can make that happen here. Is 3rd and 5 coming up. Armstrong doesn't love what he sees downfield. He's just going to slide down in front of the Toledo defender, as that will allow Bluffton Tech to extend the drive. And we have a brand new set of downs that we can work with once again. 1st and 10 coming up. Armstrong throws over the middle, and that's going to be to Javon Moore, as Javon Moore's been having a very good day for the Fighting Muskrats, closing in on 100 yards receiving. We'll see if we don't punch it into the end zone here, if we go back to Javon Moore, but we might not have to, as Will Peoples nearly finds the end zone, but it's going to be just 1 yard shy though. But when in doubt, you know, just trust that we can get this ball in on the ground. But many a choices being made here as we want to see if we can throw somebody off balance here. As I like this 1st and goal opportunity, we're going to run it up the gut, and Will Peoples finds the end zone. However, this is going to be taken off the board once again. Grant Huff is going to be called for a penalty, and that means that we are now looking at a 1st and goal for the 10, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter because we score yet again. Touchdown, Bluffton Tech. And now Javon Moore is at over 100 yards on the day. And officially, this route is on right now. We are up 35-0. It's been nothing but a dominant affair. But there's some people on that Toledo sideline that definitely wants to get that goose egg off the scoreboard. Didn't like that we gave up a massive play, so let's see if our boys can lock up. And we cannot. Toledo is going to respond right away. And Toledo will finally get the goose egg off the scoreboard. It took them 2.5 quarters to get it done. But by going, did they actually get it done there, though? As Tashi Braceful is going to find the end zone. And so, with that, Toledo has cut it to a 28-point game. So, you know, big developments happening here as there's some big plays to cut it down to 28 points. But now our offense comes out onto the field, and it's playing a little bit more sloppy, to be honest with you. We see Ben Conrad go ahead and get into a holding penalty. So that means that we'll have a 1st and 15, but we try to go deep for Chris Gentry. He was open there, but Broderick Hines is going to have the breakup, though. And so it's going to be 2nd and 15 instead. As now Armstrong makes his adjustments at the line of scrimmage real fast. See if we can get Nazlulia open. But we might have a man deep downfield, and it's caught. Again, Javon Moore has just been a menace today, as that will push DJ Armstrong to over 1,000 passing yards on the season, doing it in not even 3 full games yet. He is in for a big senior year. Just really watching him go to work here. He has such command of the offense, and it's so prevalent by what we're seeing with how he's putting the ball, what kind of touch he's lacing on these particular passes. And yeah, I mean, that's a perfect example there. Nazlulia getting into open space. So now just right outside of the red zone and looking to make sure that we can make this red zone happen is now, let's see if we can turn this red zone opportunity into a touchdown. I think last time that we were down here, we did score, but the time before that we did throw an interception. So just trying to be cognizant of just making sure that we generally take better care of the football, as we could cut over to a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. Armstrong got some time, throws to the right-hand side, one in Scooter Page. And Scooter Page is going to be well short of the sticks. So a big decision moment here, right? You know, we want to try the, I thought about going for it, but we're already up by 28. Just want to see if Tommy White can make these kinds of field goals, because these are trickier than they look. Now, Tommy White sends it through down the middle. And beyond that, we really use it as an opportunity to actually get our backups into the game, which is insane to think about. So we get a big win on the road. We take down Toledo 45-21. For the first time, we win the Battle of I-75. Now, I asked for my football team to come out here and respond after that disappointing loss to Northern Illinois. And oh baby, did they respond. You want to talk about a dominant victory? This is a dominant victory against the Toledo Rockets. A team, might I add, is a team that is way better than what we are in terms of overall, right? Like 5 overalls in college football is quite a big deal. And so to be able to come out here and win like this on the road, you absolutely love to see it, man. I'm here for it. Now, it wasn't totally perfect today, as DJ Armstrong did end up throwing an interception, but 409 yards, 3 touchdown passes. He was 79% in terms of completion percentage. I mean, it's really hard to complain, especially when you're able to get some of the backups into the game. Now, running-wise, we weren't an elite running team today, and we kind of were going like running back by committee. Will Peoples did find the end zone. He had 40 yards and a touchdown. DJ Armstrong also did have a touchdown on the ground. And then Samuel Steele, our freshman redshirt running back, could be our starter next year, depending on whether how he progresses compared to JD Weeks. He actually found the end zone as well. But this was a Javon Moore breakout game, man. We used to talk about Chris Gentry quite a bit, but Javon Moore really showed some great things today. 7 catches, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns as well. He was unstoppable in this particular matchup against Toledo. Chris Gentry did have nearly 100 yards. Naz Lilia, I mean, we're starting to use him correctly, so you love to see that. CJ Peaks had 50 yards as well. And then Tanner Malim, don't really see him very much. For someone that's 5'8", he's actually a decent little red zone target. Gotta put respect on his name. Now, defensively, I thought we played an extremely good job. Made Toledo go 3 and out quite a few times today. But that being said, Nash Bertay led the team in tackles. He had 9 tackles with Draymond Gates not too far behind. But the big story here was this pass rush, because this pass rush was absolutely deadly. James Couch-Smith and Ellis Berry were able to combine for 3 sacks between those two alone, and those of our defensive ends. Malik Moon was even able to sneak in there and get a sack himself. We also managed to get multiple interceptions today. Hunter Haynes had 2 interceptions, and then Stefan Brents, the sophomore safety that's going to eventually take over for Porter Lindstrid when it's all said and done, he was able to get an interception as well. So +2 in turnover battle, it leads to a great victory. And for the very first time in this series, I mean, we're going to take the Battle of I-75, man. Let's go, baby. So not only are we getting wins on the field, but we're also getting wins off of the field as well. Christian Onsen, a 3-star safety out of Marysville, Ohio. He is going to verbally commit to our program, man. So that's a nice little boost for our team. And you take a look at some of these other, things that we got going on. We are actually, I don't know how we managed to be a level 40 coach, but I mean, that's besides the point. I didn't have anything too egregious. But anyways, back to what I was saying, man. Look at all of these other recruiting battles that we have going on. A few of our other our prospects are in the top 3. And as you can see, you know, on several players that we are going after right now, some of which who happen to be gem players. That being said, very close to signing even Eric McCrary, who is a little bit far out. We have a convincing lead over at this moment. So real quick, what I wanted to do was hop into our another game that I wanted to show real quick. That is our home game against Ohio. Now, we had a very emotional win against Toledo. You know, was able to really pull a massive upset off and do it in an emphatic fashion. But I want to see if we can do, you know, just have that even kilter of a team, right? Because Ohio, you know, on paper, you know, isn't the same caliber of team that we are. I think we're actually quite a bit better than Ohio on paper. But you can also see at the same time, though, that this Ohio team, at least early on, they are giving us the business as we are actually down 7-0 right here. So this is a moment where we try to go for it on 4th down because, you know, we feel that Ohio was starting to gain momentum. And thankfully, we do manage to pick up that 1st down. So let's see if we can get things rolling here towards the end of the 1st quarter, but that was going to be a tight throw. Really wanted Nazlilia there, but it wasn't quite going to work out that way. So that's why we'll go with 2 crossers instead of just 1 crosser. See if we can have better luck this time around. And sure enough, Scooter Page ends up finding himself to be wide but naked open there. And that's going to be a touchdown for your Fighting Muskrats, as that will allow us to tie it here in the 1st quarter late against this Ohio Bobcats team, as we are still surprisingly still looking for our 1st win in action, because Toledo, as you guys know, they are in the Big Ten. Now, that being said, we do have a chance to possibly take the lead against this Ohio squad as we're getting ready to get closer to the 2-minute warning. So let's see what we end up doing here with this 2-minute warning, as we are down by the goal line yet again. And this play that we call, I mean, we saw great success with it early on. Let's see if it works yet again. And sure enough, it does. It ends up working a 2nd time. And because it works so well a 2nd time around, Million is going to score a touchdown. And that's going to give Bluffton Tech a 14-7 lead here in the last couple of minutes of this 1st half of action. We love to see it for Tanner Milan, who scored a touchdown in the Toledo game. So this is 2 games in a row where we've seen like our senior wide receiver able to make an impact. But with that being said, what we do know is that Ohio, well, this Ohio team is certainly not going away anytime soon, and they're going to find the end zone here. That touchdown is actually going to have the audacity to give Ohio the lead back late in this 3rd quarter of action. So, guys, I'm going to tell you something right now. We actually might be in a little bit of an upset alert here at the moment, especially if later on in the 3rd quarter we do end up seeing Ohio punch it into the end zone a 2nd time in the quarter, which they actually will accomplish as well. So 2 touchdowns for Ohio in the 3rd quarter means that we are going to suddenly find ourselves down 24-14. It's been a little bit of a shocker for sure, but it is what it is though. And so with less than 5 minutes left in the game, we're down by 13 at this point, and we need a spark, and we need that spark in the worst way. It starts on this particular drive, trying to find our way into the end zone. Can we make it happen here? 1st and goal from the 8. Armstrong in motion, looks to the right hand side, but it's incomplete. But there's a penalty on the field, and they're actually going to call this pass interference on the Ohio secondary. So we're able to move it up to the 1-yard line and have a fresh new set of downs that we try to take advantage of early on. One in Nazlilia there in the red zone. Really reminds me of like a Kyle Pitts type back when he was at Florida prior to being drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, but couldn't make that grab there. However, what we will do is run it into the end zone with Will Peoples. And that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to narrow down this deficit. We're only going to be down by 6 here with less than 4 minutes left to play. So we absolutely do have a chance to come back and make this victory happen. Now we do get a stop defensively, so we drive all the way down to the red zone yet again. Can we take advantage and retake the lead, as that should have been completed? I really wanted CJ Peaks there, but unfortunately it ends up being incomplete. So 3rd and 6 coming up. Armstrong's going to look around, wants to throw over to right hand side, but we throw it late, trying to connect with Tanner Milan, and that is going to be the ultimate backbreaker here in our second game of action. We are going to see Creed Hill get an 89-yard pick 6. And because they got that pick 6, that does mean that this game is likely going to be over at this point. Down by 13, less than 45 seconds left. And at this point, you know, I just want to see if we can try to push this ball down the field. That was a questionable decision, trying to get it to Javon Moore. That's going to be an easy incompletion. And looks like this Ohio team has had our passing attack in a little bit of a chokehold, but we will find CJ Peaks, who we wanted to connect with on the last drive, but it was deflected away. So now it's going to be 2nd and 10 instead, where we'll drop back to pass. Wants to throw over the middle, trying to connect with CJ Peaks over the middle, just trying to get something to happen, but Ross Moses placed the ball incredibly well for the Ohio Bobcats. And it's going to lead to a 3rd and 10. Armstrong looking over the middle, wants Scooter Page, but that is also going to be knocked away as well. And that's going to make it 4th and 10. Not really much hope for our team here now, is it? So we're going to try to throw downfield, looking for Chris Gentry down the side, and it was thrown out of reach. And so we turn the ball over on downs, and Ohio, they take control of this game in the second half. So after a huge win against Toledo, a team that was better than us on paper, we turn around and put together a disappointing performance against this Ohio squad. And the only thing that I could say about this team, man, is that we have a real bad habit of playing down to our competition, right? Because you saw Ohio, like Ohio is much lower of an overall team than we are. So how did we manage not to beat these guys is really a question mark for me. I'm not mad that we're 2-2 because it's certainly possible we could have been 2-2 going on the road against Toledo, who was higher overall than we are, and then Louisiana. That's also could have been a difficult road game as well, but we won both of those games, but lost the games that we should have won. So yes, we're 2-2, which is right where we should be, but would prefer to start better than 0-2 in conference play. And DJ Armstrong had a hard time finding a rhythm offensively in this game. He was less than 50% in terms of his accuracy today. Yes, he did manage to throw a couple of touchdown passes, but he did have that interception that was absolutely a backbreaker for us. It took us out of the game because of that. Now, with that being said, Will Peoples was really good in this game, though. He had 18 carries for 117 yards, plus a touchdown on the ground, so that was really encouraging to see. For the receivers, Scooter Page was actually the one that caught a touchdown pass for us. Scooter Page, the senior, managed to find the end zone. Also find the end zone was Tanner Moran, another one of those guys that, you know, has been really quiet unless we are in the red zone and, you know, all of a sudden we find a way to make something shake. But really had a hard time getting our other receivers involved in this game. And then defensively, we just took a step back from what we did in that Toledo performance. Malik Moon did lead the team in tackles. He had 10 tackle with 8 of those being solo. Porter Lindstrid is not too far behind. He had 8 total tackles in the game. We only managed to force 1 total sack as well. We had half a sack with James Couch-Smith and Ellis Berry able to combine to make a tackle. That does help Ohio settle for a field goal. we did not really force any, actually, no, we did force a fumble today. Nash Bertay actually recovered both of them. So, dude, the crazy thing is we won the turnover battle, and we still found a way to lose this game. Like, crazy stuff for me. Now, what we are able to at least do is build off of our recruiting class a little bit more. Terrell Copper from Chargan Falls, Ohio, does end up signing on the dotted line, as does three-star corner Melvin Banfield out of Johnstown, Ohio. So we're getting some real good players. Melvin Banfield is someone that I definitely wanted. He's a three-star gem, so he's more of like a three-star, or maybe a three-star gem, probably a four-star caliber player. We also have an update on Jaquise Frost, who's another three-star gem out of Columbus, Ohio. Right now, we in Miami of Ohio are the only two scholarship offers that the 6'2" high school senior has, but we're very close to him signing, and actually wouldn't be surprised if after the next game that we're going to play is going to be the game in which we will see him actually sign on that dotted line. But next episode, though, we will continue to try to get back to our winning ways. You know, we have a win, and then we lose, and then we win again, and then we lose again. So let's see if we can get a win in this next episode, as we try to still search for our first win at the Tech Center. We lost the home opener to Ohio. Should be able to pull this one out, but as you saw from this episode, I mean, overalls don't necessarily matter. You just gotta handle your business and have your A game ready to go, regardless of what you got going on. So, with that being said, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you go ahead and smack that like button. Hit that subscribe button as well if you do have to be brand new to the channel. This is John J Gaming on the mic signing off, but hope you guys are all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.